Hi, my name is Taylor Kaplan, and I read an article called Introspective or Narcissistic by David Brooks. It was published on August 7th, 2014. Throughout the article, David Brooks compares and contrasts people who keep journals and people who don't. He explains that people who do keep journals see it as a part of self-understanding. They like to write down what they're feeling so they can understand their own emotions and their feelings at the end of the day. While people who don't like to write down journals, they think it makes them narcissistic and too self-absorbed. People that were in the army during wars, they refused to write down articles and journals because they thought that it would make them more depressed because they already had a bad environment going on around them. So writing down how they actually felt would only worsen the situation. I learned a lot from this article, and I felt I could personally relate to it. Because when I take on a problem, I always take it on head on, and I'm too close to the situation. But throughout this article, it really shows that you can't really face a problem, and it's hard to see what's really going on with your life and the emotions that you're facing if you're too close. You need to take a step back, and you need to see, you need to have a distance between you and the problem so you can actually see the problem as a whole. This article is mainly about succeeding in life by being introspective, but without being narcissistic. This article, the author describes that when you're trying to see your true self, you're inaccurately perceived if you're too close. Every decision you make and every judgment that you pass in regards to your own self-being, it puts the person who you really are at risk. Because every decision you make, you could be completely just changing your true self and who you really are. And I thought this article was really amazing, and I thought it was really inspiring, and I think other people should definitely read it. And if I wanted to learn more about this topic, I can definitely search up introspective point of views versus narcissistic point of views and see the difference in different people's takes on each subject. I would go to sites such as psychologytoday.com and other sites like that, and I would research more in depth about differences between the two. By learning about introversion and extroversion, a person is able to identify him or herself and learn his or her mind processes, emotions, and behaviors. So instead of writing it down in a journal, they'll actually be able to understand where these emotions are coming from. He really tells you throughout the entire article that you need to look at the big picture. You can't just look at the small details and that are so irrelevant. You need to look at the big picture, and you need to see what's the real problem. This article relates to the course because Wilhelm Wundt, who's known to be the father of modern psychology, adopted introspection. It was one of the first tools used in study of psychology. Introspection and narcissism and introversion as well as extroversion are all topics that we cover while learning about psychology. And this article by David Brooks gives the reader a really good understanding of the difference between narcissism and introspection.